with your host, Jayden Miller.
All right. Thank you guys for joining us and welcome to our Wednesday edition of Think About It with Jayden Miller. I'm your host, Jayden Miller. Don't forget, folks, to please like, share, and subscribe on my YouTube channel. And like, comment, and follow on your favorite podcast platform. As you guys know, I'm on all of them now: Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Spreaker, Google Podcasts, Castbox, SoundCloud, iHeartRadio. So if you like any of those and listen to your podcast on any of those, you can find me there. I've got a special guest with me today. Usually I do this podcast by myself, but she popped into the studio today. This is my lovely wife, Tanisha. Say hello, Tanisha.
Hello.
All right. Well, welcome. And we thought we'd do a fun podcast today and talk about some Christmas traditions that got their start and talk about some Christmas traditions that we may have experienced as kids. And, you know, as we have moved into adulthood and have children and all of that, we'll kind of talk to you all a little bit about our traditions and some things we may like and some things we can do without. I'm the one that would like to do without some things, and Tanisha is the inclusive one, of course. So let's talk about Christmas trees first and foremost, TD. All right, so now let me tell you. First, decorated trees date back to Germany in the Middle Ages, with German and other European settlers popularizing Christmas trees in America by the early 19th century. And here's a little bit of trivia for you. A New York woodsman named Mark Carr is credited with opening the first U.S. Christmas tree lot in 1851. All right, so my lovely wife here, she loves to go and into the forest and select a tree and cut it down and put it on top, wrap it up. I'm sorry, I got to go in order. Wrap it up and put it on top of a car and bring it home and then put it in some water. And then all those pine needles are falling all over the floor. And aren't these trees fire hazards? But anyway, she likes just that tradition of cutting down a tree. Me, personally, I like to go to Michael's, buy an artificial tree and decorate it so much easier. Go ahead and talk to us, Tanisha, about your tradition of having a real tree.
Okay, first of all, we're not going into any forest. I just like to go to like a nursery and get a tree and have it be live, because then you have that smell. You have that fresh pine smell in your house. And it's the fun of picking it out as a family.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. And how long have you all been doing this in your household? Well, your previous household?
Ever since the kids were born.
Really?
Yeah.
Y'all cut down a tree, huh?
Not cut them down.
Oh, so y'all didn't go into...
Them out.
Oh, y'all just picked them out. So you go to, what is that called? Like a nursery, huh?
Yep.
And find your tree, huh?
Right. You have to
Really?
go pick the perfect tree.
Okay, that's the easy way to do it. You know, I would think you should be able to go into the forest and cut down a tree.
I'm down for that too, actually. You can get a permit ahead of time. We should do that one year.
You know, I would rather go to Michael's and pick out a tree and an artificial one. It's so much easier. You just take it out of the box and put it up in no time. And then there's no pine needles falling all over the place.
But it's not about easy.
What is it about?
The atmosphere, the feeling of Christmas.
She likes the Christmas experience.
That's right.
Okay, let's move on to another tradition. And, you know, well, first, let me go back and tell you guys. So you guys have to understand that Tanisha grew up here in Arizona, and I grew up on the south side of Chicago. And so Christmas trees, at least real ones, were a little foreign to us because we just didn't go to nurseries and get real trees. We went to the store and bought an artificial one because it was easier. But anyway, so I think, you know, probably the environment we grew up in was a little different. And so she's used to a real tree. I'm used to the good old artificial tree. All right. So then let's talk about another Christmas tradition, and that is a Charlie Brown Christmas. All right. So you guys probably have heard Charles Schulz is the person that came up with the Peanuts comic strip. And back in 1965, A Charlie Brown Christmas first aired on television, 1965. That was 56 years ago. All right. Now, almost half of all U.S. TV sets were tuned in to that broadcast back in 1965. It must have really been a special episode. All right. So the thing about it is that now, decades later, the Charlie Brown Christmas is still shown on TV. And of course, my beautiful wife here loves to watch that every year. Talk about that a little bit.
It's just a fun Christmas movie, but also I've always loved Charlie Brown. What I really love is Snoopy.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay.
But that's a good movie.
Okay, so you really aren't watching Charlie Brown Christmas for Charlie Brown. You're watching for Snoopy.
Snoopy was the star of the show.
Oh, gosh. Snoopy was the star of the show. All right, so I recall watching a Charlie Brown Christmas. I would say that I probably have not watched it since I was a child. You know, but...
we didn't watch it last year together?
I don't think so.
Okay.
And I did not... watch it with my daughters or anything, and so yeah.
I'll have to watch it this year.
Well, that's we'll see. You know, so is it even coming on? I guess you can find it.
We just find it, yeah.
Oh, you can find it
everywhere. Yeah.
Okay, you can probably watch it in July, can't you?
Yeah.
Julymas. Oh, by the way, they do it like a July Christmas too.
Well, we only did that during COVID because we were so bored.
Oh, okay. All right, so let's talk about gingerbread houses. Gingerbread houses. All right, so here's a little trivia for you. Although Queen Elizabeth I gets credit for the early decorating of gingerbread cookies, once again, it's the Germans who lay claim to starting the gingerbread house tradition. And when the German brothers Grimm, you guys know them, the ones that wrote the book Hansel and Gretel, a new holiday tradition was born. Today, the edible decorations are available in a slew of pre-packed kits. Now, my beautiful wife here was telling me that last year we made a gingerbread house or put it together or something like that.
Yeah, all the kids, you and I.
Really? Mm-hmm. And I mean, was it prefab? I mean, what kind of house was this?
Well, the pieces come, and then there's all the like frosting and the candy that comes in the kit as well, and then you just put it together how you want to decorate it.
Really?
Yeah, I think we did boys against girls. We each did our own house.
I sort of remember that.
But we had two, I think, at the end.
Really? And then did they get eaten?
No.
Well, you don't eat the gingerbread houses.
I think some people do, but I never do.
Oh, so what do you do with it at the end of the Christmas season?
Throw it away.
Oh. So was it pretty?
Yeah.
Oh. Boys against girls?
A kid's version of pretty, with candy everywhere.
Oh, who won?
I don't know if we decided. I mean, everybody probably thought they won.
Oh, okay.
There was no judge.
All right. So now, again, prior to meeting Tanisha here, I didn't really know about.
No, they don't do gingerbread houses on the south side of Chicago.
I mean, so I'm not saying they don't do anything on the south side of Chicago. I'm just saying that gingerbread houses was not part of a tradition in my household, you know. But I do remember that good old, you know, not nursery rhyme, but story about Hansel and Gretel, though. You know, didn't they get eaten up or something like that? Or they were about to get eaten up, and then the crazy little lady, they were able to get out of their cage and push her into the oven or something like that.
I think so.
You know,
I really remember.
You know, kids' stories were real traumatic back then. I mean, think about it. Little Red Riding Hood.
Right?
You
Scary,
know?
Violent.
Oh my God. Rapunzel.
Even,
you know?
What do you call them? Lullabies.
Yeah.
Like Rockabye Baby.
Oh my gosh.
Why is the baby in the tree?
Rumpelstiltskin. Do you remember Rumpelstiltskin? These little trolls. The three Billy Goat Gruff. Remember them? I mean, gosh, no wonder kids today that are, you know, adults are traumatized. Mm-hmm. All of this crazy stuff we used to hear. All right, so here's another one. Oh, ugly Christmas sweaters. I had to talk about ugly Christmas sweaters. So here's some more trivia. You can blame our neighbors to the north, Canadians, for this silly, ironic tradition that really gained steam in the 1980s. Actually, I remember this when I was in college. According to the Ugly Christmas Sweater Party book, The sweaters became a party trend in Vancouver, Canada in 2001, and the trend is seemingly here to stay. According to Fox Business, the ugly sweater industry is a multi-million-dollar business for an ugly sweater. Oh my gosh. And then you can buy them at Macy's, Kohl's, and of course Target. You can't buy them at Walmart though, because Walmart won't sell ugly Christmas sweaters. But anyway, what do you think about ugly Christmas sweaters? Ever wear those?
No.
No?
I don't think I've ever done that.
Really? Now, see, that's something that I've actually done.
Really?
Yes.
Like at an office?
Yeah. Ugly Christmas sweaters, yes. But whenever we did it, I never wore an ugly Christmas sweater. I always wore a good-looking one.
Of course.
Because you don't have to, like, go against the grain, So, but anyway, I think ugly Christmas sweaters are fun. Do you think?
I've never done it, but it sounds like it could be. So you're wearing like the ugliest and there's like a contest?
Yeah, and someone wins or someone, gets a prize for having the ugliest Christmas sweater. I mean, hey, it's a little fun.
It would be fun.
Okay, how about this? Cookies and milk for Santa. Okay, so while leaving treats for Santa and his reindeer dates back to ancient Norse mythology, Americans began to sweeten up the tradition during the Great Depression in the 1930s as a sign of showing gratitude during a time of struggle. Now that seems really crazy to me, because if there's a Great Depression, why you got cookies and milk giving them to Santa Claus? It seems to me that you should be eating them, that milk and cookies. But anyway, was that something that you grew up with, milk and cookies for Santa?
I don't think I grew up doing it. Maybe I did. I can't remember completely. But my kids did it.
Oh, really?
Mm-hmm.
Really?
Definitely.
I kind of recall being maybe 3 or 4 years old and, because I either heard somewhere that you're supposed to leave milk and cookies for Santa Claus. And I think my parents might have done that one time, but they didn't do that after that, though, But what do you think about that, cookies and milk for Santa?
It can be fun. It can be a fun tradition. The kids get to leave them out. I know some kids leave out a carrot for the reindeer too.
Are you serious? A carrot? So Rudolph gets a little carrot. Now, Rudolph seems to me that he wants something more than a little carrot, though. After all that traveling throughout the world, all you get is a carrot.
Not bad. If you're a reindeer, that might be pretty good.
Nah, maybe. I think the reindeer should have some cookies and, All right. What about candy canes? And now, we put candy canes on our tree. Do you ever eat them?
So we sometimes put them in cocoa.
Oh.
Yeah, to kind of make it a peppermint flavor, but I don't really like them enough to eat them.
So here, let's go ahead and talk a little bit about me being from the south side of Chicago again.
Okay.
So here, Tanisha, they say cocoa. Cocoa. On the south side of Chicago, we call it hot chocolate.
Sometimes we do too. But I guess we call it cocoa more often.
We're just a little more simpler on the south side of Chicago.
Lord,
we got like in Chicago, there's this bowl with holes in it.
No,
we call it a strainer.
It's a colander.
She calls it a colander. Now let me tell you something. I have a modicum of education, but I had never heard of a colander until she told me. I always called it a strainer or a bowl that has holes in it.
Oh my gosh. This is shortly after we first met, and I said something about trying to find my colander or something. He was like, "What's a colander?"
Yeah.
When I find it, I pull it out, and he's like, "Oh, the bowl with holes in it."
Yeah, a strainer.
It's a colander.
A colander.
It can be a strainer too. I just think the strainers is the ones with the really small holes that you can actually really strain stuff through. But
I had never called it a colander before. I was like, "What are you talking about?" Okay, and then there were some other people I think from that we met. They didn't know it was a colander either, right?
Oh, yeah,
Remember, it was at a wedding we were doing or something like that. They were like, "Well, I thought it was a strainer." Yeah, me too. All right, so we were talking about candy canes. I like candy canes. I've never put them inside of cocoa. But. It seems like that would taste really good, huh?
Yeah, but you don't really like cocoa.
I really don't like hot chocolate, I do like chocolate from time to time, but I don't know. You know what I really would like to have? Eggnog. I would love to have some eggnog.
I don't know if I've ever tasted eggnog because it sounds disgusting to me.
You don't know if you ever had it? It's good. Oh my gosh, I'm going to have to get you some eggnog.
Does it have eggs in it?
No, I think they just call it that. maybe some old traditional eggnog, Nick. But this eggnog, it is but it's rich.
Yeah.
And it's a little sweet, but you can get different flavors, and it's a little fattening, but it's very, very delicious.
Yeah.
We might have to get some. I'll get some. If you don't want it, then I'll drink the rest of it, though. So, okay. So, we were just talking about candy canes. So, a tradition for Tanisha where they take it and dunk it in cocoa. I like to eat them, but there are other types of Christmas candy I like better than peppermints. But I like the taste of them. I like the peppermint taste of them. So, and they are associated with Christmas, and they're really fun. I like what do you think people came up with the shape? It's in the shape of a cane, I know.
Yeah,
but
I don't know why.
Yeah, that's really
what started that.
Yeah, we might have to do some research on that. Okay, so how about Christmas door wreaths?
Definitely.
Really? Wreaths have been around since the ancient Greek and Roman times, but the evergreen Christmas wreath, often adorned with bows of holly, eventually took on Christian meaning, with the circular shape representing eternal life and the holly leaves and berries symbolic of Christ, crown of thorns, and blood, according to the New York Times. So we have a wreath on our door. You like wreaths?
Yes.
Actually, we have another wreath that's on our door that's on there, most of the year, right?
Right. We always switch them out.
Yeah. So is that something that you all do in your family? This is Think About It with Jayden Miller, and I haven't really given you an opportunity to think about it. So maybe you guys have been thinking about it on your own. So let's go back and recap. So what do you think about, what was our first one? Our first one was Christmas trees. Do you put up a Christmas tree? Do you put up a real Christmas tree, or like me, an artificial Christmas tree? Think about it. What about Charlie Brown? Do you watch a Charlie Brown Christmas? Think about that as well. Is that fun to watch? Is it boring? It comes from way back in the 60s. But I guess it's still...
Or what is your favorite Christmas movie?
Oh, wow. Oh, we'll get to that in a second, Gingerbread houses. Think about that for a minute. Do you guys put gingerbread houses together? Tanisha said we did this last year. My memory of this is waning. But do you guys put together a gingerbread house? And do you eat it after the holidays? Or do you eat it during the holidays? All right. And we also talked about ugly Christmas sweaters. Is that something that you think you would want to be a part of? All right. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe on my YouTube channel, and comment, and follow on your favorite podcast platform. We talked about candy canes. My beautiful wife likes to dunk them in cocoa. She says she's never had eggnog. We're going to have to rectify that this season. And we talked about door wreaths. Do you put a door wreath on your door? All right, what's our next one? Let's talk about this movie here, okay? Another Christmas tradition. It's a Wonderful Life. It's a beautiful Frank Capra classic. Have you seen it? Mm-hmm. All right, so now, this film debuted around Christmas in 1946. And for those of you that would like a little bit of a refresher on the movie, it's Jimmy Stewart. The great Jimmy Stewart plays George Bailey, who is a suicidal man who is shown what life would be like without him by an angel. Okay. Now, I've seen this movie many, many times. Okay. It's received 5 Oscar nominations. It didn't win. Okay. But it's become an annual TV viewing tradition. All right. Part of your tradition to watch it?
Yeah. Really?
What do you like about this movie?
I guess him coming to realize the most important things in life,
Yeah. He really went through a hard time. If I recall in the movie, they were really such a loving and giving family, And of course, there was this real evil banker, that wanted to shut their business down, and all of that kind of stuff. But I think the movie is really good in that it shows you how you can overcome, even in the worst of times, and I think it's really great for the season. There are lots of people that are going through hard times during the Christmas season. Of course, we still have homeless people. We have people that lose their jobs. We have people that have just a myriad of things that happen in their lives that aren't so great. But in this situation, in this movie, George Bailey, just shows how he can triumph and how he can come out of it. And then, for those of you all that are religious, there's that religious element of it too. There's an angel, that helps him, to see, like Tanisha said, what's important in life. And so I think that's a great tradition. I watched that growing up, loved that movie.
Yeah.
So think about it. Is that something that you will be watching this Christmas season? All right. And we're not going to bore you guys with a whole lot of different traditions. We'll just do one more. All right. What about Christmas lights? All right. Thomas Edison may be famous for the light bulb, but it was his partner and friend, Edward Hibbert Johnson, who had the bright idea of stringing bulbs around a Christmas tree in New York in 1882. By 1914, the lights were being mass produced, and now some 150 million sets of lights are sold in the United States each year. All right. So now, Christmas lights. T, talk about that for us. What was that as a tradition for you?
Well, the first time I remember doing it was just my grandfather. We were talking about this the other day. He always used those big bulbs that they had back then. They didn't have the little tiny ones, and put them all around the house, and then we'd put some on the tree. We've been doing it ever since. I know you like the colored ones, Beth.
Yeah, the colored ones, So we have our house all decked out with all of the nice Christmas decorations. Now, this is something that I have not always done, okay? Since the great Tanisha came into my life, I have really gotten into the Christmas spirit. But prior to that, I didn't put up a tree. And I didn't put up any lights because I'm like, why should I give all my money to the electric company,
We have 2 trees.
Oh, God.
1 colored lights, 1 white lights. And they're so pretty.
But anyway, Christmas lights are beautiful. We actually walk through the neighborhood and look at the lights. And, there are some communities, I'm sure, as you all out there are aware, that, the whole block, the whole community will do. There are some people that just deck their houses out with all kinds of lights.
Right.
And they're actually really, really beautiful, too. So, it's something that I haven't done prior to meeting Tanisha for about 10 years or so. But I did it before, when I was growing up on the south side of Chicago. We did put Christmas lights out, and everybody on the block except one family did, So it was really cool to drive through the neighborhood and see all of the pretty lights. So, so Christmas is a fun time of the year, no doubt, and having it all brightened up actually adds to it. So
it is. That's one of my favorite traditions. Is just walking around or driving around to where they have those houses where they really go all out.
Yes.
Hundreds of thousands of lights.
Crazy.
And so that's a lot of fun to see, but it does put you in the spirit.
Yes. And so now Tanisha wants to just really tell you guys about a tradition that she's had. It starts off with a book. And talk to us a little bit about that, T.
Yeah, so my grandparents gave me the night before Christmas, I think like the original book when I was 3 years old. And I still have that same book.
Wow.
To be very careful turning pages now because it's older. But every Christmas Eve, I sit and read that to the kids. Doesn't matter how old the kids get. We still sit and read that book. So it's just nice to have a part of my grandparents there.
Yeah, that's really, really cool. All right. So now I'm trying to think of a tradition that I have, but I don't have any.
When it comes to Christmas?
Yeah, because we were born on the south side of Chicago.
So we make some now.
Yeah, we are.
We make new traditions now.
Yeah. But yeah, I can't think of anything else that I did, like just,
When did you guys open gifts? Christmas morning?
Oh, definitely on Christmas morning.
Okay, yeah.
You?
Us too, yeah.
Okay.
I would often let them open one small gift Christmas Eve.
Oh, really?
Sometimes it would be like Christmas pajamas they could wear that night to bed.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
Cool. That's for the people that are impatient, huh?
Yeah.
They want to see, Mom, can we open this?
Yeah.
But so here, I got a Christmas tradition. This is what I would do. All right. Now, this is a secret. Y'all can't tell anybody. But so when I was a kid, I was very, very anxious in terms of knowing what, I was going to be getting. So what I would do is I would sneak in my mother's room because she would put stuff under the bed or in the closet. And then she would wrap the gifts. And so what I would do is I would carefully like take like a razor or some scissors and I would unwrap them, at certain spots so I could see what it was. And then I would just, put tape back on. I mean, nobody would ever know, but at least... but at least I knew ahead of time. Okay.
I hope your mom was listening to this podcast.
So I knew exactly what I was getting. So, just in case, she didn't get it, I could like give her a reminder. Hey, by the way, I don't know if you got this yet or not, but, I don't want you to forget that, that stereo that I wanted or something like that. But if I looked and I could, and see, it didn't take much. You just unwrap a little bit and you just peek, and then you're like, oh yeah, okay, she got that. Yeah.
But you ruined all the surprise on Christmas
morning.
I
didn't like surprises. I wanted to know what I was getting ahead of time. So yeah, I didn't have time for surprises. But those were fun times. Hey, and I've got one. Okay. See, I just thought of it. And I'm sorry, guys. We'll let you guys go in a minute. But it was going to a department store and standing in that long line to sit on Santa's lap. Yeah. So there's pictures of me and my sister, and we would do that. And even me as a little boy, my mother would take me, and I would go tell Santa Claus what I wanted for Christmas. So that was a lot of fun. So nice. That is something we used to do. How about you? Did you ever do that?
So I did take the kids to go do that, but when I was little, my grandpa would sometimes dress up as Santa.
Oh, really? Mm-hmm. Oh, grandpa was Santa Claus. Huh?
Yeah.
Oh, that's cool. Yeah. All right. So I got a question for you guys. Think about it. What do you think about Santa Claus, like, climbing down chimneys? I mean, where did that come from? I mean, how come Santa just doesn't like knock on the door?
Because then you wake people up.
Okay, how
you
come?
You got to find a way to slip in.
But see, Santa Claus is magical. I mean, so my thing is, if you can fly through the air and hit all of the countries in the world in one night, you should just be able to like materialize like right into somebody's house.
Well, he somehow does, because not every house has a chimney.
That's true. Man, Santa Claus, the man, ain't he? Okay, all right. Well, listen, we hope you guys enjoyed our talk on some of our traditions for Christmas. Are you all going to make any new ones? I mean, we have all of the ones we talked about. There are certainly more. There's A Visit from St. Nicholas, The Night Before Christmas. That's that book, There's cookie swaps. There's making fun of fruitcake. I used to tell people that they were nuttier than a fruitcake. Have you ever had fruitcake?
No.
I think it's gross.
Yeah, it doesn't look so great.
It looks gross. There's my department
Santas?
store Santa. Secret Santas. Yeah, actually, we were doing that at work, but I decided not to sign up for it.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Why?
I don't know. I don't know. Maybe I wasn't in the Christmas spirit that day or something like that. So, but listen, we appreciate you guys listening to the podcast. This is Think About It with Jayden Miller. And my special guest today is the beautiful, my wife, Tanisha. Please like, share, and subscribe on my YouTube channel, and like, comment, and follow on your favorite podcast platform. Tanisha, tell everybody goodbye for us.
Goodbye and have a Merry Christmas.
All right, we will talk to you guys soon. Have a great day.
Thank you for listening to Think About It with Jayden Miller. Don't forget to like and subscribe to his YouTube channel, and like and follow on your favorite podcast platform.